Hola, buenos dias, buenas tardes, y buenas noches, you and I. Mr. Charles here, and I'm just going to do a short presentation for you on choosing Spanish at GCSE option and whether or not you should consider choosing it for year 10 and 11. So in terms of the course and what we're wanting you to achieve to get out of the course, the main objective and aim of it is to develop the ability to communicate effectively in Spanish and to be able to apply that knowledge in a variety of situations such as shopping and traveling, to name a couple. But in addition to that, the ability to express opinions on a range of social and global issues and to talk about yourself, your life, and your own beliefs. So in order to help you enrich your vocabulary and develop your appreciation for the language, we cover a range of topics within three key themes, and all of these are assessed in the four papers which are taken at the end of year 11. And the three themes are as follows: identity and culture, and this will entail talk about yourself, your family, free time, aspects of free time and technology, use of technology, and also festivals, traditions and customers in the Spanish-speaking world, so not just Spain. The second theme is titled Local, National and Global Areas of Interest, and this will feature topics such as travel and tourism, describing where you live, and global, environmental and health issues as well. And then it comes to the third and final theme, which is current and future study and employment. And this will cover topics such as school life and and how you're experiencing it now, comparing it with Spanish school experience, but also thinking about future plans in terms of study and jobs. Now, during each of these themes, we will cover a lot of different grammatical structures, some of which you'll be familiar with during year 7 to 9, and we're going to build on them in much more detail in order to allow you to access more of the language and to express yourself in further detail as well. So regarding provision, just like the other option subjects, you'll receive 3 hours of teaching time per week. And in addition to this, home learning tasks will be handed out. And unlike Key Stage 3, where it was once every 2 to 3 weeks, this time it will be once every week. And we follow what's known as the AQA GCSE exam board specification, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. That's what the front cover looks like if you look on the website as well. And the grades achievable, just like a lot of other GCSE subjects, are grades 9 to 1, and 9 being the highest. GCSE Spanish, however, unlike some GCSE subjects, has a two-tier entry system, foundation and higher tier. Now, we don't make an official decision as to which tier you'll be entered for until quite late in year 11. So we will cover everything to ensure that you're able to access both foundation and higher tier. Now, the higher tier students will have access to grades 4 to 9, whereas the foundation tier students will have access to grades 1 to 5. Now, regarding assessment, the subject is assessed at the end of year 11, and there are 4 exams worth 25% each, contributing towards the final grade. Now, these 4 papers will cover the 4 key skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And as they're equally weighted, something to bear in mind is that you don't necessarily need to be equally as confident in each skill to consider studying this subject. For instance, if you have a weakness in one or more of the skills, by studying the subject, yes, you will improve on them skills, but you can also rely on the fact that you have strength in other areas of the course as well. Now, this part I do want to be rather serious and frank for a moment, and that is the fact that you need to be fully committed in order to, if you want to study GCSE Spanish. And as much as I would love as many students as possible to opt for Spanish at GCSE level, the reality is that you need a significant amount of dedication to the subject, to learning vocabulary, grammar, and practicing the language outside of the classroom and in between lessons. You cannot be expected to pass this subject by just learning during the 3 lessons per week. You need to remember you're learning a foreign language, and this needs to be done beyond the classroom walls. So you need to be organised, resilient, and you need to invest time and effort. And we can and we will help and support you with this and get you into good habits. But you do need to ask yourself the question, would you be happy dedicating a lot of your personal time to studying on your own? So why choose Spanish? Well, for a kick-off, Spanish is the 4th most widely spoken language in the world and is an official language of countries of 4 of the continents. Learning to speak Spanish will help you engage with the Hispanic world and also enable you to participate fully as a global citizen. And we have mentioned so many times that not everyone in the world can speak English. So it's important to be aware that by speaking another language, you're automatically opening up so many doors for yourself and giving yourself the chance to communicate with people from around the world. Furthermore, having a language skill is an impressive asset to have on any application or CV, particularly if you've got aspirations on going to college and you're looking on going to a university afterwards. And if you can show you have knowledge of language and language skills, you'll stand out to be in a really promising position. And regarding thinking further ahead, having a language really is a skill that is in demand and can be used with virtually any career, particularly with businesses that trade internationally. And I think that's really important for us to be aware of as well. Over the past few years, we've seen Britain's position in the world change. And as we move away from our European identity in terms of business and politics, making you aware of a language that is spoken across the world is something that will really enhance your job prospects for the future. In the local area, there are lots of companies who are looking out for people who are able to speak a second language. And it's estimated that around a quarter of people, British people, have felt that not being able to speak a language has held them back in their career. Now, with regards to links to other subjects and careers, the list is really endless in terms of languages. A translator may be the most obvious one. Now, these people translate written pieces of work, whether it's a website, a book, or a newspaper article. And companies often need somebody to make their text available in more than one language. And you may think that with all the automatic translated systems online, this job won't exist anymore. But ask any Spanish teacher and you'll find out that a lot of the online translations are often very inaccurate. An interpreter is very similar to a translation, and their job involves translating oral Spanish speeches. An example of this can be seen at the United Nations headquarters. There needs to be interpreters to ensure that everyone can understand what is being said in their native language. And if you can speak more than English and Spanish, this will give you a real competitive edge. If you love reading and writing, publishing and editing could be a perfect fit for you down the line. Imagine being able to read a story and getting paid to edit it. There is an enormous amount of books and other reading materials that are either written in or have been translated from English to Spanish or vice versa, that are in need of editing before they can be published. And these are all opportunities to put forth Spanish reading and writing skills as well as a love of literature. Proofreading is very similar to that of an editor. Though you may not be so enthusiastic about Spanish spelling and grammar right now, it could be a serious advantage for the future. There is an endless amount of reading materials such as websites, articles, product labels, and literature that need to be proofread for mistakes. And just with editing, these jobs can be located anywhere in the world, seeing as it's usually possible to work from home. If you have a traveling spirit, perhaps, there are plenty of beautiful locations around the world that require Spanish-speaking tour guides, and Spanish skills will be very helpful in finding a job that involves touring a historical landmark or a national tourist site. Even in countries where Spanish is not spoken, guides and interpreters will be needed to service Spanish-speaking tourists. If you prefer to work at a holiday destination, there are opportunities as resort staff in Spanish-speaking countries. There are plenty of beach resorts over the Spanish-speaking world that need staff to service tourists. And there's a variety of jobs in this category that would allow a lot of Spanish-speaking practice with staff and also local people. It's definitely an advantage to have flight attendants who can speak multiple languages, and here your Spanish can be put to good use whilst flying across the globe between Spanish-speaking countries as well. Perhaps you have a really good Spanish accent and pronunciation, and this could be a great advantage if you would like to be a voiceover artist. Many English-speaking TV shows and films need to be dubbed into Spanish, and if you're a fan of performing arts, acting out movie scenes with your voice could be a really fun career. Now, speaking another language increases your confidence. Many people have said that they develop a different personality when they speak another language, and it has enabled them to discover aspects about themselves which they never knew existed before. It enhances your cognitive ability and has health benefits such as delaying potential early onset dementia. And in a rather cool way, it's reported that speaking another language makes you more attractive, so definitely something to bear in mind. So the question really is, ¿entonces estudiar español? Are you on board? If you have any further questions and would like to know if GCSE Spanish is for you, I'd really like for you to get in touch with me, and we'll hope you'll consider us for GCSE. But if you have any other questions or queries, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Thank you very, very much for listening, and I will be speaking with you soon. Buena suerte y hasta luego. Ciao.